Yeah. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Before we begin, let me quickly introduce GoCrackit and our speaker for today. GoCrackit is a career-focused learning platform that helps students and professionals become industry-ready through practical workshops, interview preparation, case-solving sessions, and AI-led upskilling programs. So, over the years, we have worked with students from top colleges and professionals across the domain to help them build practical skills that actually matter in today's job market. So today's session will be facilitated by Alok Srivastava. He is a co-founder of GoCrackit and also an IIM Bangalore alumnus. Alok has worked extensively in the consulting and upskilling space, mentoring students like thousands plus students on one-on-one basis and also on a professional on case studies. So structured thinking, business problem solving, and the practical applications of AI in business scenarios. So I'm sure this session will be highly insightful and practical for all of you. With that, let's get started. Over to you, Alok. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. So first of all, good evening, everyone, and thanks, Suman, for introducing me. So again, this is the next episode of our cracking a management case study case. So we are going to discuss one case study, and the topic is again on the side of which is very commonly asked case these days, which is on AI. We are going to discuss how AI kind of interacts with how do you take decisions related to AI when it involves maybe frontline workers or people, right? When you have to trade off between people, of maybe their layoffs and how AI play out, and how will you evaluate these kind of case studies. So again, the idea is that we'll solve a case which could be asked in any management consulting case, and I will try to tell you expected approach from the interviewer, from you, right? How do you approach this problem, right? Any case. So with that, let me start the discussion. So initially, as Suman has already kind of introduced me, so I'm not going to discuss too much about me, or I'm not also not going to discuss too much about what is a case study, management consulting case study. If you want to know more about it, you can go to our YouTube channel, and I have uploaded a lot of done a lot of these kind of sessions where you can get more details about it. But very briefly, basically, a case study is a business problem which is given to you by kind of companies like consulting, product, and all those things, all those companies which basically want to see your problem solving skills. Generally, cases could be open ended, or if they are given to you in an interview, they will be open ended. But if they are given to you prior to interview, like a case let, then it could be detailed also. But right now we are talking about those cases which are generally given to you in the interview itself, right? And generally these are inspired by the real world problems of the person who's taking the interview, and they are the case studies are done to measure your problem solving skills, your tolerance for ambiguity, and to see how do you speak, how do you communicate in that ambiguity, right? And it can be from any industry or any domain, because it is designed to measure your problem solving skill and not the domain knowledge. So with that, let's start the today's case, which is again on a very interesting and very contemporary topic. So let's see the case, and then step by step we'll follow in the way recruiter might expect you to solve a case. So let's see the case statement now. So let's say your client is a major telecom company which kind of handles almost 2 million customer support queries every month. Okay. And but what is the problem? The problem is that customer satisfaction scores are declining due to long waiting time. And board want to replace 70% of frontline support agents, the customer agents, with AI agents who are capable of troubleshooting issues and handling plan upgrades. So that's the kind of case study. And some more information is given. Basically, that leadership is divided, right? While CTO wants rapid AI deployment, while CHRO, the HR head, is concerned about workforce disruption, layoffs, customer trust, and reputational risk. And your objective is to recommend, right, how the company should design and implement its AI-driven customer support transformation while balancing cost saving, customer experiences, minimal workforce disruption and minimizing any organizational risk as possible. Okay, so that's the case given to you. Now, before I give you the structured approach to solve this case, I would like to know from you that how would you approach this point? If let's say this is the problem given to you, whereas there's a telecom company which is facing poor customer satisfaction score because of the long wait time, and let's say you need to suggest the AI agent transformation of customer support. How will you approach this? So that's the question to you. Huh. So tell me, can anybody tell me how might you might want to approach this point or this case? You can put it in the chat. You can speak up whatever is convenient for you. Yeah, anyone? AI chatbot. Yeah, I mean, so that could be a solution. But how do you approach and what all parameter would you look at before deciding that should you go to AI chatbot? Should you go to AI? If how much percentage of work should be automated? Is it 70%? Is it 50%? Is it only 10%? What will be your approach? Okay. So let's look at this problem in a very structured manner. And this is how I would recommend that you to follow in any case interview as well. So that structure with which you should follow a case study in a case interview would be you have to first clarify the problem, set the objective, uh, put a framework, analyze the data, and recommend the solution. Let's look at these steps, one by one. Okay. Yes. So let's look at clarification step. So what you need to do, you need to do two steps here in clarification. First step is you need to paraphrase whatever you heard to make sure that you have heard it correctly. You might say, okay, if I understand you correctly. So what happens when a case is given to you, you should start taking notes. And once a case problem is completed, maybe you look at your notes and read it out. This is what I understood from this case. Is it a correct understanding? Did I hear it correctly, or is it something which I missed? Right. So the first thing is you summarize your understanding. You paraphrase the problem statement which you heard. So that is the first step. Now the second, in that clarification, you should also ask some clarification question to the recruiter. Now, the objective of uh, this clarification questions which you should ask to recruiter is to make sure that you have understand the problem correctly. Now, if you have to make sure or you want to know more context, so if you have to make sure that you have understood the problem correctly, or if there is something which you don't understand from the problem, you should ask in the clarifying question. In this case study of this telecom company, what do you think could be a couple of good clarifying questions? You can give me a couple of them, maybe in the chat, and let's see how it goes. So, what are some of the clarifying questions you may want to ask in order to improve your understanding of the case? Huh. So, anyone, maybe any question, any clarifying question which you may want to ask in this case? Okay. So, let's see some of the clarifying question. And the idea of this clarifying question is to make sure that you have understood the problem correctly. So some of the clarifying question could be, what are the company's primary goal? Is it reducing support costs? Is it improving CSAT, or is it increasing scalability? Or what percentage of customer services or queries are repetitive in nature? Versus what percentage are complex or emotionally sensitive? Or how accurate and mature are the current AI capability of your company? Or is leadership open in a human in the loop way to do things? or does company have a workforce transition or reskilling plan for impacted employees? So these could be some of the clarifying questions you can ask. See, there's no right or wrong clarification question. Basically, you are asking clarification question to make sure that you have understood the problem clearly, or to make sure that you have understood the context clearly. Now, what may happen, the recruiter may give answer to some of these questions, or he or she may choose to say you assume whatever you want to assume. So let's say he gives you some of this clarification that company wants all three. They want to reduce cost, they want to improve season, and they want to increase scalability also. There's not one objective. Second was, what percentage of customer service? Yes. Again, we should check the real problem, what the company is facing. Yes, correctly. You can ask that also. Why do you think that CSAT is declining? And maybe they could say, because it is given in the case problem itself, because of the long wait time. Now the question would be, why there is a long wait time? And then you may want to dig deep and see where is the root cause. That you can do. Get. So approximately 60% of the customer queries are repetitive or rule-based, while 40% are complex in nature. How accurate and mature are the current AI capabilities? Pilot results show that AI can accurately resolve around 55% of the repetitive queries, but still struggles with the nuanced queries. Is leadership open to phase human in the loop problem? Let's say yes. Does the company have workforce transition plan? Let's say it's still not there, but they are creating it. So some of these clarification they may give, they may not give. They may choose to say ki, you can assume whatever you want to assume. Okay. So basically, the first step, what you have done to kind of summarize the first step, you have paraphrased the problem and you made sure that you have understood the problem clearly by asking some clarifying question. Now that is that. Now the next step is, although in this particular case study, the objective given to you is very clear, but still it makes sense to paraphrase that objective and get a confirmation from your recruiter that this is what you are expected to do in this particular case study, what you are expected to do in this case study. So you should ask something like that, right? That you want me to evaluate how the company should design and implement its AI-driven customer support transformation process while balancing cost saving, customer experience, and organizational risk. Is that what you want me to do? Or is there something else you want me to do? Or is there anything else or anything additional you want me to do? Now, at this is a very good and very smart move, because this puts some clarity in the mind of interviewer also, that what exactly he or she wants from you in this case, what exactly he or she can say kind of a success parameter for him or her to say that, okay, you identified the objective and you worked towards it. So that's why it's a good point to really make sure that you ask the objective. So you did clarification, you did objective. Now you need to create a framework. Now uh, when I say that you need to create a framework, what I meant is that if you have to analyze how do you transform career service, customer service process using AI, there should be some 3-4 major buckets, category of the areas which you should analyze before you decide how to do, what to do, not to do. For that, you need to create a framework. Now, what could be those 3-4 buckets, those 3-4 top lines would you like to dig deeper into AI driven customer service transformation? That is what I want to know from you. What are those 3-4 areas, buckets, would you like to dig deeper into to maybe design a AI based customer service transformation process? What could be those? Tell me. What could be those 3-4 areas? Would you like to decide to kind of analyze more, to study more, to research more? Efficiency or customer service experience, very good. So that is one parameter definitely you need to area which you need to definitely kind of analyze and dig deeper into, at how much is the efficiency and this thing. Problem understanding, okay. Okay. What else? What else? What are those 3-4 buckets would you like to analyze or dig deeper into to decide whether you want to kind of analyze and maybe come up with a solution that this is what how we should do, this is why, this is how we should do our AI driven case understanding. Okay, so let's see. So what we can do, and there's no one right structure, you can always come up with your own right structure. I have chosen this, right? Yeah, you can ask this question: is the company entering new geographies? You may get to know that no, it is not right now. Okay, so let's say these could be some of the areas. First, we need to understand what is the business objective, why we are doing it. Second, we need to understand work allocation. How much work or what work should we allocate to AI? Let's say there are 100 types of queries. How many queries, or how much amount, how much part of those queries can be assigned to AI, and how much humans should handle? Risk and organizational impact. Anytime when you're doing this kind of transformation, you should definitely analyze the risk. What is the risk and what is the organizational impact? And in this case, this is even more important because it might involve AI automation, and hence it might affect the layoffs. It might affect the organizational human resource strategy. So this is very important that you analyze this. And then implementation, again, very important part for any digital transformation, in this case, AI customer service, that you keep in mind that how would you implement? How would you implement? Let's see these factors in a bit more detailed way. Okay, so let's see one by one. So business objective. So we should first know that why we are doing it. We should have, like, if we are reducing support cost, what is the expected support cost? How much CSAT can we improve with whatever strategy we are, analyzing, strategy we are adopting? How do we increase the scalability? Let's say I do 2 million queries per month this year. I mean, per month, but maybe how much it is, let's say when I scale, can it cater to 10 million queries a month, right? So that kind of scalability. And how do we do so that we are still differentiated? This is a very important parameter, right? The competitors. It's not just about what you are doing and what you're not doing. It's also about what your competitors are doing. And if they are ahead of game, you need to really match it. Otherwise, the customer may leave you, right? So these are some of the analysis you might want to do in business objective. Second is work allocation, as I discussed, right? That what are some of the AI suitable tasks, repetitive tasks, billing question, basic troubleshooting, simple plan upgrades, and what are some of the human suitable tasks like emotional escalations, retention conversation, complex issues, technical issues, high value customer. You may not want to give, even if it is, let's say, smaller query, but if it is by a very high value customer, a B2B customer, you may not want to give it to AI for obvious reasons, right? So that's the second thing. Third is risk and organizational impact. What could go wrong? So AI hallucination, errors, customer trust and brand backlash. There are a lot of companies actually which has happened. They move to AI-based customer support by firing almost their entire customer support team. And now within 2 years, now they have to roll it back to human-led customer service. So it's a very important issue. And what are the regulatory or compliance concerns? Is there any compliance that you cannot use AI? Is there any compliance on laying off people because of automation? Where this is situated and all those things you need to really be very much analyzing. And the last part is implementation strategy. How would you like to implement? Would you like to implement as a small pilot first and then scale it? Or you want to give it a full scale deployment? How much human in the loop control you want to have? How much you want to be totally automated versus how much you want AI's output to be reviewed by human, that is human in the loop, and then it is given to customers. How would you go about workforce reskilling and transition? How would you monitor? How would you manage the crisis and all those things? You may want to kind of analyze before you actually decide on something. So this is a kind of framework you may want to use. And another important thing which you may be asked in this particular case study is, what is the trade-off between using AI fully versus what is the trade-off between AI using fully versus you are having a human in the loop approach? And that's a very important question in this. And these are some of the parameters, a framework would you might want to draw in front of recruiter that see there are different criteria on which I would like to analyze pure AI versus human in the loop hybrid way, where cost saving definitely in pure AI it is very high, it is moderate to high. Maybe customer experience it is maybe good for simple queries, but it will be good or better when you see complex or emotional cases. Error and hallucination risk high, it is very low. Customer trust low. So you may want to do this trade-off analysis. And this is a very important slide, I would say, because this is something which you might get in somewhere in a lot of companies' case interviews, right? So this is the kind of trade-off you may want to analyze. This is the kind of framework, or these are the kind of criteria would you like to look to see whether how do you compare, right? So that's the kind of structure you may want to use. So this is the third space where we have done the structuring. We have laid out the buckets where we want to analyze things. Now it may happen the recruiter may ask you, okay, it's okay, but tell me what kind of data you might need to analyze some of these. So you may spell out what kind of data you need to analyze this, or most of the cases what will happen that recruiter will give you some data and he will ask you to analyze that data. So let's see some data which let's say recruiter has given you. So let's say this is the first slide where they have given the data around monthly queries is 2 million. Average cost per human handled is $4 per human. Average cost of this query resolution per human handled is $4. Current annual support cost, hence it is 96 million, right? 2 into 4 into 12, which is 96 million. But see, this is the problem. Your current CSAT score is 68% and your average wait time is 12 minutes. So this is what is causing a lot of problem. Okay. Now let's say there's some more data is given. Let's say this is a very important data for AI analysis. That percentage queries AI can resolve autonomously is let's say 55%. So let's say if you get 100 queries, out of which 55% is kind of automatically, kind of repetitively or autonomously resolved. Average cost per AI handled query is $1. AI accuracy in repetitive queries is 92%. AI accuracy in complex is 65%. Let's say that is the data given to you. So let's see. Calculate the current annual support cost. Actually, we don't have to calculate because it is already given. 96 million is the current annual cost with only human in the loop. Calculate cost under hybrid model, meaning certain percentage you are using hybrid, you are using AI, and certain percentage of queries you are using human. Now, how much percentage you can safely use, AI query is basically your this number. 55% is what you can use AI safely because it can resolve autonomously. So let's calculate that cost. So 55% of 2 million, which is 1.1 million queries per month, and per query is $1 in AI. AI cost, average cost per AI handled query is $1. So your cost for AI handling queries will be 13.2 million per year. This is 12 years per into 12. 12. This is per month into 12. This thing, the 13.2 million. Human handled query, because you have 2 million queries, 0.9 is now 1.1 is being per month being handled by AI. So human will be 0.9. Now human is $4 per query. The cost of human handling the query is $4. So you might say $4 into 12, 43.2. So total hybrid cost is 56.4. So your AI query, the only human query resolution or customer cost was 96 million. Your hybrid cost is 56 million, which is almost 40 million. But now in this case, kind of you cannot say that we should use AI more because anyway there's a lot of annual savings, because we need to also be aware of customer experience. It's not just that cost we want to reduce, it is also that we want to improve our CSAT score, which is right now at almost very low, right? It is at the 68%. So we really want to improve this also. So let's see some more data on how AI and human can interplay and can impact the CSAT score. So let's see. So let's say once you train your humans well, their CSAT score will be 85%. While AI handled repetitive queries, the CSAT score would be around 78%. And this is, let's say, the data from pilot, which they might have done. And third is AI handled complex query, the CSAT score is very low. So let's say they have done an experiment where they have done 100 query resolution through human, 100 through, let's say, AI handled repetitive queries, and AI handled complex queries. And this is the CSAT score you got, 85%, 78%, and 40%. Let me take a pause here. CSAT score is customer satisfaction score. Basically, it's like an NPS score, Net Promoter Score, customer score, customer rating in simple words. Till now, did you understand? Till here, did you understand the calculation, all of you? If yes, just give me yes or thumbs up. Right? Yeah. Now, what we are talking about, while the cost saving is good in human in the lab, AI plus human hybrid perspective, but we will need to also be aware of CSAT score, customer score, right? Customer satisfaction score, which we have seen that human handled queries has highest CSAT score. AI handled repetitive queries has 78% CSAT score, which is good, I would say, if you compare it with this thing. But AI handled complex queries 40%, which is very bad, right? So let's see how much queries. Let's see how much queries we should. What will be the impact of CSAT score if we use hybrid approach? So let's see. So let's see. So let's say scenario A model, where let's say AI handles. So this is our hybrid model for which we have calculated the cost also, right? 55% of the query is being handled by AI and remaining 45% is being handled by human. So let's see. AI handles only repetitive queries 55%, human handle remaining 45%. So what will be the weighted average CSAT? CSAT would be 55% into 78 plus 45% into 85. So your CSAT score will come somewhere at 82%, 81%, which is good CSAT score in this hybrid model. But let's assume hypothetically that we want to use AI very, very aggressively, and assuming that 70% of all queries are being answered by AI. Then what happens? Again, 55% are repetitive tasks. So your AI CSAT score is 78%. That is not an issue. But then you have 25% queries which are complex queries which also come to AI, where your CSAT score will be hampered and it will be 40%. And remaining 20% is handled by humans. Hence, your CSAT score is 85%. If you take weighted average of that, you might get almost 70% CSAT score, which is as bad or as good as your original case without AI itself. Also, without AI, also almost 70%. So it is not a good idea to fully, aggressively do pure AI modeling. You have to have a human or hybrid model, which will have good cost improvement at the same time, which will have reasonable CSAT, and it is definitely higher than your current CSAT score, which is 68%. Did you understand this? Is it clear what we are talking about, and how did we calculate those trade-offs? How did we go about deciding those trade-offs? The cost, the CSAT score. We have taken two, cost and CSAT score, cost and customer satisfaction. Okay. So on the number basis, this looks better. Now we'll go to next. But before that, let's say your recruiter is okay. They say, yeah, this is okay. Just recommend what you want to recommend, and you might recommend something like this using all the data, that hybrid model can reduce annual cost from 26 to 56, generating 40 million in annual saving. At the same time, it maintains a significantly stronger customer experience with around 81% versus only 70% in this aggressive pure AI deployment. The company should initially automate repetitive queries while retaining humans for complex and emotionally sensitive queries. Now, this happened, recruiter is happy, you all went happy, and it's okay. But lot of time, recruiter may give you a googly also sometimes. What could be that, Googly? Let's say there is a follow-up question from recruiter, something like this. Now let's say we went ahead it. We kind of announced that there will be an AI transformation program. Now there is a lot of fear started happening in the internal employees. Employees start posting anonymously on social media, claiming companies replacing humans with the bots, a hashtag criticizing the company trend online, labor union demanding transparency and job security, media outlets giving some flashy, some controversial headlines, prioritizing cost saving over people, and all those things will actually happen. How will you deal with this situation? Is my question to all of you. And that is smart. A recruiter may also ask you, what will be your response to this? How will you handle this situation? You have to do AI this thing because you're saving a lot of money, you're improving your customer satisfaction score also, but there will be a backlash. There will be a layoff fear, and layoff will happen actually. How are you going to deal with it? Tell me, what would be your, let's say you are a CHRO, you're the CEO, and all these things are happening. What would you do? What would be your approach to deal with this? Tell me. Anyone? You can put it in the chat. Okay. So in this case, it is very important that you have a cool mind, you have a strategic approach to it, and your communication is very, 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 very. Yes, we can train the existing. This is what we need to definitely do. So let's see. Good. So first of all, the way we communicate should not be about cost cutting. It should be positioning AI as augmenting employees, not simply replacing them. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So our narrative should be not about cost, kind of cost cutting. We should say that we are augmenting employees, not simply replacing them. Definitely avoid messaging on cost reduction. Talk about cost workforce transition program. Commit to reskilling employees into AI. See, our problem is that there is a lot of employee backlash. We need to, be more transparent. We need to talk about reskilling. We need to take escalation specialists, customer success teams. We need to increase transparency. We need to tell expected timelines, what will be the impact on different roles, how we will be retraining people, what is the support program. Slow down aggressive automation. Don't never start. I mean, as somebody said, let's start with some pilots, some phased out rollout, and always be advocate of customer experience. That we also wanted to improve customer experience, and hence we are all doing it. Now, you might say this, which is really good actually, but recruiter may still press and say, but you also know, boss, that it is going to lay off people. And layoff question will definitely come. Whatever you say, layoff questions will definitely come. How will you handle this? Right? And that's where you need to be more transparent with everyone. You have to say that I agree that some workforce reduction is likely over time, especially as repetitive support tasks. Let's say right now for password, resetting, you have a person. You don't need a person for password resetting. AI can do it, right? So those kind of things is going to impact the job. So we should communicate three things. One, immediate priority is improving customer experience, very important, and operational efficiency. So whenever you see all these Amazons and all those people, they are firing people. They are saying that we are augmenting roles. They are saying that we are improving efficiency. It's not about layoff. It's about customer experience. It's not about layoff. It's about operational efficiency. Second thing is workforce impact will be managed gradually through combination of, see, this is a very important stage, combination of attrition, layoff, reskilling, redeployment, and selective restructuring rather than abrupt large-scale layoff. The company remains committed to maintaining strong human support for complex and high-end interactions. So these are some of the things you might want to say for these kind of follow-up questions. So with this, we complete our case study. Basically, what we have discussed is this framework: clarify, paraphrase, and clarify. Ensure that you have understood the problem correctly. Set the objective very, very clear from the recruiter. Create a framework in which there are 3 to 4 buckets, 4, 5 buckets. Analyze the data, the given data. Based on that analysis, do recommend. There will be some follow-up objections, some follow-up questions. Take it coolly, answer logically rather than getting worried that you have been asked a follow-up question. I don't know how it is going, right? So don't do that, right? So this is what I wanted to share today, and this is a very relevant case study, I would say, in the today's world, where a lot of people are actually right now working on these kind of problems. Listen carefully, paraphrase and understanding. Do not jump to solve the problem. Never ever jump to solve it. Never ever jump to say, ki, okay, let's shoot AI chatbot. Have a structured approach. What? Which one to be improved? Which type of job to be improved? What is the cost implication? What is the CSAT implication? What are the risks? How are you going to mitigate the risk? What is the communication plan? How are we going to maybe manage this layoff thing? All those structures thinking should come out. Take interviewers hint. Lot of times interviewer will give you hints. Take them. Think aloud. It is okay to get stuck, but do not give up. In any case study, you might get stuck because you don't know the answer, but never ever give up. These are some of the resources you can use. GoCrackit.com resources. There is a McKinsey Way book, and there are a lot of other resources. You can go to our YouTube, which I think Suman has shared initially, where there are a lot of these kind of case studies have been given, the estimate has been given. You can check that out, right? And yeah, and there are a lot of resources, you can go through them. And we have been doing a lot of AI-based automation, AI automation using N10. Then we are also doing a lot of agentic AI workshops. If you want to take part, you can screenshot this and you can join. So this N10 is happening the day after tomorrow. Anti-gravity will happen, I think, now next month, right? And last but not least, there are some more AI mentoring resources is given to you, which you can use for free. This is for free. So you can do a lot of mock interviews in GoCrackit AI Interviewer. You can have consulting case, marketing case, finance case, resume based, JD based, analytics, strategy type of interview. You can also do a lot of case studies on different topics: profitability, operations, supply chain, marketing, valuation. There are so many of them are there. You can do that. You can also do different types of resume reviews here, right? And the link for that is here. And you can, and this is basically designed with the help of our own experiences. So you can always take, these are all free resources, this one. You can always take this thing, benefit of this. And do give us feedback of this website, of this AI mentor. Which session? These session means which session? Right? You can take this, and go through this. There are a lot of jobs, consulting, product management, to every type of. We are mostly focusing on AI management consulting, right? Guesstimates. We are focusing on these. Later on, we would add finance and marketing as well. For now, it is more about consulting, AI, management consulting, technology consulting, and AI consulting, and case studies on AI. So that's what we are focusing on. Yeah, we can discuss that. PM means product management, right? Or project management. Which one you are referring to? We can discuss. Maybe we can do one, maybe AI-driven product management case interview also next time. Yeah, we can do that. Good suggestion. Okay. But yeah, you can go here. You can take, this is already created. You can just go and use it, and definitely give us the feedback of these AI mentors so that we can keep improving it. You can always connect with us. And if you have any doubt, I'm happy to kind of resolve them. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, by the way, this is my LinkedIn. So you can always connect with me as well. Yes, I have given my LinkedIn, so we can always connect on LinkedIn. Thank you so much, guys. And we will be meeting maybe next week also. Maybe let's try, Suman, this time let's try one AI-based product management case, right?
Yes, sure.
And thank you so much, everyone. And thanks, Nikunj. Thank you so much. Awesome, great feedback. And all of you, good good connecting with all of you. And let's keep connecting with each other like this. And this is very important. Problem solving, critical thinking in an AI age is even more. It's a little, I would say, combination to keep working on your AI skills, but more importantly, keep working on how do you strategize about AI? How do you solve business problems using AI? And that is where all these concepts will be very important. So all the very best, guys. We'll keep connecting next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All the best.